Hello lovelies and welcome to today's video. I've actually been waiting a while to share this video with you all because this video was made using my June Kitaholic kits. Now I'm on the DT for Kitaholic kits, so I made this layout last month and this kit has only just become available this month, obviously, because we get a little bit of time to play with it first. So when I made this layout, I made it after all my DT stuff was in and I absolutely love it and I couldn't wait to share it with you all. So I kept it as one to share for my stash. So in the mixed media kit, we got some Distress Oxide sprays and a stencil. And this is the Faded Jeans Distress Oxide. And what I've done is I've tipped it into a palette and I've used it as a watercolor or as a paint basically. So I've just used a dry brush to apply that to my background, added a few splatters, and then I've dried it. As you can see, the color changes significantly between wet and dry. It'll change again if you were to add some water to it. So if I was to get some water on my hands and do some splatters, again, there would be a different kind of color on this because obviously it oxidizes. So they're very fun to play with. I do love the oxides. I've become a bit of a fan of them since playing with just the few colours I have. So yeah, lots of fun, lots of fun. So this is a picture. If you've watched my videos, you may have seen that I actually scrapped a picture like this, very similar to this, and I wasn't overly happy with it. I didn't love the layout. This one I do. I think I actually mentioned that I had done another layout of a very similar picture. It's the same picture, just cropped a bit differently. And this is that layout, so I did it all the way back then. Now, the next couple of minutes, you're gonna see I don't like it. So what I attempt to do is not how this ends up being when I'm done, and you'll know what I mean in a minute. So I've got this orange that, so all of this came in my June kit, and I liked this pattern paper because it was very grungy. Even though it's orange, I just felt it was, I don't know, it just worked. It was grungy. So this is what I'm trying to do. I was thinking of doing sort of like a banner out of my photos, like in a fishtail banner type way. It didn't work. It looked really bad. I think what it is my photo was too big to do this. And in the end, I end up fixing it, and I have to admit, I absolutely love how it turns out. So I try a couple of ways to fix this. First, I'm going to mat it on some white paper or some white pattern paper with some black text. And then I'm going to mat it in a block. Then I'm going to mat it in another fishtail. Then I'm going to make the fishtail smaller. I do a fair few things, and they just don't work. I'm not happy with it. So in the end, what I decide to do is I basically just mat it in a square format. So what I'm going to go do once I've finished working out that this doesn't work, I'm going to go back through and I actually rip the orange layer, which I actually really like. It really works with my style. I'm a very grungy boy, masculine scrapper. Very mixed media, very grungy. And yeah, so when I end up trying to salvage this, ripping it just works for me. So see, I'm trying everything. I'm distressing the edges. I'm going to mat it flat, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to make the background have fishtail banners as well. That might work. No, it was not working. I really had this picture in my head of what I wanted it to do. So I was trying everything. Now, the reason I've kept all of this in, that bit there where it stopped suddenly, my dog ran into my tripod and knocked it flying. So I had to, fix that up. There was a mess. My water went everywhere and the camera was still recording. It was actually a lot of fun to look back on. Very funny. But yeah, so I had this image in my head and it wasn't working. So I keep trying to salvage it because I just really wanted to try. Like I was saying, the reason I've kept this in is because I wanted to show you that things can change halfway through, like literally halfway through the layout. And sometimes they're better for it. Like you'll see in a minute, my layout, definitely better for it. So I've ripped the orange layer and then I'm cutting the white layer with my scissors. So one's distressed, one's straight. And I love it. It just works. It's so much better. Even as I was doing this, I did not think it was going to work. I thought I was going to have to start again. But no, it just worked it worked really well. I thought I was going to have to reprint my photo and remat it and start from scratch. No, it ended up being really well. So I'm going along and grunging up the ripped border a bit more because I decided to go with it. And yeah, the layout takes off after this. I absolutely love it. From here on, I love it. So that's my photo, finally matted and ready to go. Now I'm going to finish off my background. So, oh no, with my frame, because since the dog knocked it, it's not quite the same height. You can't quite see what I'm doing down the very bottom. I've just layered some of that orange down the bottom off to the right-hand side, and you will see that better in the end photo. And that's just to bring some more of that orange in and to make a little cluster down the bottom. So this is the stencil we got in the mixed media kit. So we got 2 Distress Oxide sprays, an orange, which I think was carved pumpkin, maybe, and then the faded jeans. And then we got this stencil. So this is a darkroom door stencil. This is a new stencil. It's the small grungy marks, I think it's called. So I'm going in with some Vicki Boutin silver paste. What's it called? I don't want to turn my chair around because my chair's very squeaky. It is her texture paste, and this is the silver. I've had this for a while, and as you can see, I've only just opened it. And I've decided to bring this in and just make put it through the stencil on one of the very basic patterns. So this is just the straight up and down lines. And I'm just very haphazardly putting that on. As you can see, I haven't masked off my stencil. I haven't dried between layers, so some of them are smudged, but I don't care. I'm going with it. Like I said, I like grungy, I like messy, so it works. And yeah, I'm just adding that in a few places. I'm going horizontal and vertical just to give me some marks in my background. And yeah, I really wanted to play with this paste. It is lovely. It is beautiful to play with. It spreads amazingly. And yeah, it's a great medium to have. If you don't have any, I suggest getting some. I wouldn't mind getting a few more and a few other colours. And this is another reason. So what I did is I wanted to see if I could make some splatters out of it. It is like a texture paste. So I use my Stampin' Blocks as paint palettes. So I put some water on my palette, and then I put some of the paste on there, mixed it up like you would with a paint, and I made splatters. It made beautiful metallic silver splatters. It was great. So yeah, this was literally just a random experiment, and it turned out really good. So yeah, these texture pastes are fantastic. It's the Vicki Boutin paste, and this is the silver. So now I'm just going to put my photo down. Now, when I did this photo last time, I had this, so I keep forgetting to adhere everything down. So I'm putting some foam behind this to give me some dimension, because I like dimension on my layouts. And in the last layout I did, I had this silhouette of a person with a guitar. When I made that printable, so I made them from images online, so Google Images, I printed off a few. I printed off this Rockstar logo, a couple of guitars, and then I picked what worked for that layout. So I had a few left. And in this case, I had the guitar left. So I've got basically a silhouette of a guitar, so just a black cutout of a guitar. And I end up using that on this layout. So I've gone through the exclusive printables we get with the kit every month, and I've pulled out a few that I thought might work on the layout just to see what I like, and end up using this star. I use my tiny attacher because I love using staples on my boy layouts, not only as an adhesive, but as an embellishment. So I've adhered that down, and then I realized I might need a bit more glue under my layer, and then I use whatever's heavy on my desk to weigh it down. So in this case, my matte medium and my texture paste. And then I'm going to get my guitar. So this is a guitar that I printed with my just my regular printer, and I fussy cut it out, and I'm gluing that on my layout. So actually I should explain about the picture. This is a picture of my son that I took. His music teacher was moving to Tasmania, and obviously she was getting rid of a lot of her stuff, and her son decided to get rid of some of his old instruments. So she said, "I've got this guitar, would you like me to drop it round?" Now here's me thinking she was dropping around just a regular acoustic guitar. No, she came round with an electric guitar. And needless to say, my son didn't even get inside the house before he decided to start practicing on it. And this is the picture I sent her to show her that it didn't make it in the house. He was sitting in the doorway out the front, just having fun. And her reply was that would make a great album cover someday. So yeah, we decided to, I knew I had to scrapbook it. So the title I'm using is actually from a baby collection set of thickers. But I really liked this Dream Big and thought it went perfectly with the photo. So that's it from me for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.